Okay, too early in the morning to be up, but that's okay. I have a duty to perform here, and that is to, well, when I figure that out, I'll let everybody know. Good morning. Good morning.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's time for our daily bread. I'm redoing this whole structure again. So we'll be back right after
and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled Etch-a-Sketch Forgiveness, was written by Katara Patton. The little red rectangular box was magical. As a kid, I could play with it for hours. When I turned one knob on the box, I would create a horizontal line on its screen. Turn the other knob, and voila, a vertical line. When I turned the knobs together, I could make diagonal lines, circles, and creative designs. But the real magic came when I turned my Etch-a-Sketch toy upside down, shook it a little, and turned it right side up. A blank screen appeared, offering me the opportunity to create a new design. God's forgiveness works much like that Etch-a-Sketch. He wipes away our sins, creating a clean canvas for us. Even if we remember wrongs we committed, God chooses to forgive and forget. He's wiped them out and doesn't hold our sin against us. He doesn't treat us according to our sinful actions, but extends grace through forgiveness. We have a clean slate, a new life awaiting us when we seek God's forgiveness. We can be rid of guilt and shame because of His amazing gift to us. In Psalm 103, the psalmist reminds us that our sins have been separated from us as far as the east is separated from the west. That's as far away as you can get. In God's eyes, our sins no longer cling to us like a scarlet letter or a bad drawing. That's reason to rejoice and to thank God for His amazing grace and mercy. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Psalm 103, verses 7 through 13. He made known His ways to Moses, His deeds to the people of Israel. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He will not always accuse, nor will He harbor His anger forever. He does not treat us as our sins deserve, or repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is His love for those who fear Him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has He removed our transgressions from us. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear Him. Let's pray. Loving God, thank You for forgiveness. When we get stuck in guilt over our past wrongs, would You remind us that You no longer remember our sins, and You lovingly turn our eyes back toward You. Thank You, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. I'm Tony Collier, and this encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Shout, counter marching all about, and those kids hearts go rolling along.
Well, it's time to rise and shine, Montgomery. One more day above ground, and the ground's not above you. Wait, not yet. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things going on in Montgomery. Of course, Montgomery's not all by itself. Good morning, Z. And all the other recruits down there at Fort Gordon, Georgia. Some of them a little crazy, but that's okay. That's what you got to put up with in life. Time to rise and shine. Hello. It's a beautiful day today. 73 degrees outside this morning. A high today of 87. Oh, this is good weather. Good morning, Maxwell and Gunner. It's time to rise and shine. Although the Air Force, I don't think the Air Force gets up before 8. So they got a couple more minutes in bed. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of and last but certainly not least, the United States Marine Corps. Remind me to tell you that story for the 900th time on Tuesday. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great time. Evidently, the governor's been trying to reach the mayor, and I think he got on call block. Anyway, good morning to you. It's a great day to be alive. It's better to be on top of the ground than the ground on top of you. Which brings me to my main point to start the show today. I got some points to make today. Okay, that's enough of that. So I got some points to make today. I do. Now, so last night, now, I'm telling you something. I went out yesterday and got a telephone. Okay, but I got to hook it up. I haven't exactly hooked it all up yet, but because it's like on those Magic Jack phones. I mean, it's a regular phone, but it's a long story. But anyway, I'm going to try to get it hooked up today sometime so we can some of these issues we have with phones. But I think I actually fixed my problem last night. But we'll see how all that works out. Okay. But anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. You can always email me if you do not want to make a comment in the comment section of this platform, which is called. Of course, I would. I mean, I don't know why you guys wouldn't want to comment. We already know who you are. I mean, Google knows where you are. They know where you live, your name, your address. I mean, they know everything. So why hide now? Just put the stuff out there, and and let's see what happens. I mean, you may actually have a point that some of us have never thought about. I probably thought about just about everything, but I don't know everything. So I'm good. I love reading the comments of you folks out there. Really is nice. It's refreshing to see people, no matter how crazy the idea is, that you actually have an idea. And so that's good. Logic, reason, and common sense. That's all I ask. When you have a conversation, at least have two of those elements with you. Okay, just two of those elements. Uh huh. Now that's a good point. Now somebody said, "How long has the mayor been trying to reach the governor and she didn't answer?" Okay, listen. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know, but I know. Let me tell you how long I've been trying to reach the governor, for 5 6 years. Okay, yeah, 5 or 6 years, and they got me on call block, I think, because they don't ever answer the phone. Or at least they say, "Well, we're gonna tell her. We're gonna put her in the book. We're gonna let you know." Okay, right. Even they don't believe it. Anyway, good morning to you. Now, we all know what's been going on. I mean, every paper in America just about has got Montgomery somewhere in the feed, the things that have happened. But today, let us look at this from a slightly different perspective on this whole violence thing. Okay. Now, we all know, every last one of us know, that the mayor of Montgomery, or and any of our government servants, did not, do not participate in shootings, okay, or any other crimes that we know of, okay, that some of these people have been so brazen to do. So let me put forth a hypothesis. It is not a question of who did it, okay? At some point, we will find out. At some point, we will find out who did it, okay? So the question is not actually who did it. hmm hmm It is a question of who is responsible for it happening. Hmm. Okay. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? Y'all feel where I'm going? You know where I'm going here, right? Okay. So it's not a question. We always ask, well, who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Well, that's kind of a redundant question, because if we know who did it, we would have stopped them from doing it. So we will find. We got too many cameras, too many drones. So at some point, we will find out who did it. But it is a question: who is responsible for it happening? Who is responsible for the environment that would give rise to such an event? Each 4 years, 2 years in some cases for Congress, people run for office: governor, um, mayor, city council, and the like. The number one thing that most of them say, the number one thing that most of them say, uh, it is about crime. And we agree. We agree it is about crime. But why is it that it's like a platitude? You see, and what is a platitude? A platitude is something that is said so often that it has lost its relevancy. Okay. So with the next time you see a politician and the first thing comes out of his mouth, "I'm running because of crime," just tell him to shut up. Okay. Okay. It's a platitude. It doesn't hold any weight anymore. Okay. It just doesn't. Okay. The only thing that's going to hold weight with that conversation is somebody who has a plan. Okay. A plan to fix it. Okay. And you will never get all crooks. They had crooks they had a crook in heaven called the devil. So crooks will always be around. I mean, people will always be around doing things that they ought not do. There's no doubt in my military mind that that's exactly what is going to happen. We'll always have it. Okay. But everybody who runs for office, the number one thing on their list is crime. But crime, now listen to this. But crime never, at least in the last 10 to 15 years, seems to abate. The word abate, it means that the word abate means it never seems to go away or diminish. As a matter of fact, last 10 to 15 years, it has seemed to get worse. My life experience in civilian world and the military life tells me that someone has to be held accountable to the citizens that pay their salary. And that's all of them. Citizens pay their salary. We are tired of the platitudes. We're tired of the nice sayings, like here's one. Oh, my main thing is education. Well, education's got worse. My main thing is crime. Crime has got worse. So these are what we call platitudes, ladies and gentlemen. Platitudes. They don't mean, I won't even say the word I really want to say, but you know what I'm saying, okay? They don't mean Bravo Sierra, okay? They don't mean Sierra. They don't mean, they're just things that people say because they think you want to hear them, okay? Somebody, however, is accountable in this city to us. Now, the one thing we have is plenty of reasons and excuses, and again, platitudes. And again, let me tell you what a platitude is one more time. It is a remark or statement, especially one with a moral content that has been used too often to be interesting or to even think about. So, ladies and gentlemen, who are we going to hold accountable for the mess in this city of crime? I'll wait your answer. Who's responsible? Well, let me give you my quick answer, and that would be all of us. Every last one of us. We're responsible, but we're not responsible to anybody but our own family. Whereas public officials are responsible to us for the environment that this city has right now. Not just this one. I'm just going all over the country. It's everywhere. So it's not just here. It is a culture. It is a cultural demise. Okay, a cultural demise in our society today. So here is the question. Here's the question. Can it be fixed? Can we fix it? Or is it already too late? Well, that is an interesting question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's an interesting question. So I don't have the answer to those questions, but I can tell you one thing. I do believe that we all play a part. Okay, we all play a part. Yeah, $50,000 will get you $50,000. $50,000 will definitely help find out who did it. And if I knew who did it, I'd be down there getting that check. But even when we do find out who did it, that won't help the lives that were lost. So here's the question on this morning's table. Who is responsible to us? We're responsible. We are all responsible in some facet. Either for the people we put in office, for our kids we didn't train well enough. I think we all are responsible. At least, even myself. I've gotten so tired of talking to young folks about the stupid things that they do, walking down the street holding gun. It's tiring. Okay. Again, if each man raised his own kids, this problem would be solved. I think the biggest problem we have in our society today is that men, too many of us, um, don't grab our kids by the neck and smack them around a little bit because they need to get some sense put in their heads. Does that sound too harsh? My bad. That sound too harsh. Oh, what you gonna do with them when they go to jail? You think all they're gonna do is hear a bad name? What you gonna do when they go to jail? Not only will they get smacked around, they'll get bent around, bent down, turn around, turn over like a flapjack, turn over on one side, then flat, put them on another side. And if they're lucky, they may get out of prison at some day. So, I'm sorry. The life is tough. Life is tough. But anyway, yeah, Greg, I did hear about that yesterday. Yeah, but we all knew it. But we get to that in a second. Because right now, our what's going on in Washington D.C. is not. I mean, well, that did make national news, but what's going on in Montgomery made national news too. And it wouldn't be a big deal if it only happened once in 25 years, but it happens every day in this city. Somebody almost dies in the city every week. No doubt about it, every week somebody. How do we get here? I don't know. Okay. But the question is, ladies and gentlemen, who are we going to hold accountable for the environment of this city, like all other cities in America that have these kinds of problems? And platitudes will not do it anymore. Platitudes will not do it. It just won't do it. Don't come to me on elect, because the city council, they got another election in 27, and yeah, I'm thinking about running for that one. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, because I got a plan. See, I got a plan and not a platitude. See, all they got is platitudes. We're going to work on education. Well, education's gotten worse. We're going to work on crime. Well, crime's gotten worse. So please give me a plan, not a platitude. Okay? Because we want you to work on crime and we want you to work on education. But from where I am sitting, it doesn't seem to be working out. Okay? So who do we hold? Who now? Ultimately, I'm not talking about who's responsible for the crime. We know who responsible for the crime. Everybody knows who's responsible. It's the person that did the crime. But who's responsible to us? Who's responsible to us? And I realize that the mayor didn't do it, the city council members didn't do it, but they are in power to ensure to the best of their ability that we live in a society, in a city that at least is somewhat safe to walk around in. You ought to be able to go downtown and you ought to be able to go downtown and have a good time without worrying about some random stranger shooting at people and killing some. We ought to be able to do that. Now, I realize there's like Ronald Reagan said, somewhere in time and space, something has changed. Something has changed. A lot of things have changed, but again, that does not the criminal. Again, we know that the criminal is responsible for the crime, but who is responsible to us as citizens for the environment that has allowed this kind of thing to come about? Who's responsible? Because see, I got to tell you, somebody said the good news is that they're all black. I don't know. That ain't good news, brother. But the problem is though, thoughts and prayers is a platitude. No other civilized country deals with this like America. Actually, we don't. We don't want to deal with guns in the country. And I think one of the reasons why that's difficult because we get 40 million guns in. Matter of fact, I think we got more guns than we got people. So the only way to officially deal with it is go around and confiscate every gun that there is. But if you do that, that won't get rid of the guns that people already have. And so what we do is we leave a lot of people in danger because everybody's not going to give up their guns. They're just not going to. And so here's what needs to be happening. The penalty should be so severe. Okay, the penalties for being using a gun, except for self defense, should be so severe that and even me, I used to get angry. I used to say, well, why are we going to put a guy in jail for 10 years? Well, I see why now. I see why now, because they don't take it seriously. I mean, we got people go to jail around here for family reunions rather than for punishment. They're going to meet dad there, uncle there, brother there, sister there. I mean, even women right now getting terrible now when it comes to this stuff. And Facebook, my God, Facebook has made heroes out of people who are zeros. Okay? I mean, we watch them fight. We watch them cuss. We watch them. I mean, we just do. The police, get stopped by the police. I'm recording this. Yeah, well, that ain't going to help you. But anyway, we'll move right along. So the question on the table this morning: who's responsible to us for these events? Who's responsible to us for this? Who do we hold responsible? The mayor? I think partly. City council? Partly. All of us? Partly. So since what do we do about it? Therein lies what can is the problem so big, so humongous, so Herculean that we cannot do anything about it? Well, I'm not gonna do that. But again, I made the distinction yesterday. On military bases. We all, even so, the fantastic 82nd Airborne, the Rangers. We know how to use guns. We know how to use guns. We know how to use guns, but we can't walk around on base with a gun unless we were actually engaged in combat operations in the sky. So everybody doesn't get to walk around with a gun even on a military base, and we get paid to know how to use those guns. So, why in God's name do we really think that people ought to be able to walk around the city of Montgomery with a MAC 10, AR 15 strapped on their back? When the people who get paid, you can't go out to Maxwell right now and see people, except for the SPs or MPs, you can't go out there and see them walking around with guns. So let me get this right. We're not going to trust soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines to walk around with guns, but we think the idiocy in our society today should have the right to do that. I mean, really? Really? So who and the governor now I got to tell you, you woofing all that jack, but you're the one who signed, who pushed the legislation where people didn't have to have a license to carry concealed. At least we would have some idea of some of the people who walking around with guns. We don't care about you. We're not trying to stop you from walking around with a gun, because that evidently the Constitution of Alabama evidently holds a lot more weight than the Constitution of the United States. But the Constitution of the United States said the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I got you. I got you. But it didn't say we had to be stupid about it. Okay? I want you to think about it. You go out on Maxwell, for those who can get out there, or you go out on Gunner, you will not see people who've been to Iraq, who've been to Afghanistan, people who have been to all kind of places. As a matter of fact, you won't see, when we got ready to go to Grenada, then they gave me a gun. They gave me. They didn't give me one before I left, though. Let me see who this is. Okay, I'm hoping this works out today. Yeah, what's up, bud?
Yeah, you need to do a mic check, see if anybody can hear me or any other caller.
Well, do a mic. Does anybody hear my caller online? But if they do, hopefully they'll let me know. But I hear you good. So what's up?
Okay. The governor did not sign a law to where you can carry concealed without a permit. If you carry concealed, you still need to have a pistol permit.
Not in Montgomery, you don't. No, you do not.
You can open carry. You can carry on the side of your hip.
They did away with the permit. No, they did away with.
But you cannot carry concealed unless you have a permit.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
How about a steak dinner at Outback?
Okay, that's fine. Listen, I like mine medium well.
I like mine rare.
Okay.
In fact, you can lop the horns off and just run it in on the hoof. That's how rare I like my steak.
So you don't have to have a concealed weapons permit to carry concealed now. And then
no, you do have to have a concealed.
No, you don't.
You said she signed a law. If you open carry,
the Constitution
you do not have to have a permit.
But the Constitution gives you the right to open carry. She signed the legislation.
No.
Listen. I can show you better than I can see.
Kevin, 28 states have constitutional open carry, which means you can carry a pistol or a rifle in plain view. But if you're going to carry concealed, you have to have a concealed weapon permit in the state of Alabama.
Then why did the governor need to? If constitutionally, it is a constitutional protection that you can carry open. And the sheriff. Hold on, I tell you what. Let me call Sheriff Cunningham.
Because
I'm telling you, I'm right.
Because the Supreme Court ruled in Heller that the right to bear arms applies to private citizens. Mm-hmm. And so Alabama, along with 27 other states, codified that into law that you can have a constitutional open carry after the United States Supreme Court ruled that you can, the laws to bear a gun does apply to private citizens.
I think you're wrong because I and the sheriff had this conversation that you do not need, and that was the problem. We took the Buzz Rump no license for concealed. Thank you very much. I know I'm right about this. That was the problem.
Okay, well, so you're going to get a steak on me. We'll have a good dinner together, and we'll talk about other things.
Right. No, because here's the problem. Here's the problem with being able to carry concealed without a license. You got guys that are 5'6" who walk around like they're 6'5". Because
I think you should. If you carry concealed, you should have a permit. Just
and
like
they don't have to anymore. They don't have to anymore. And therein lies our big problem.
We'll find out. I'll do some research on the law, and I'll send you a text on that.
Okay, well,
you were talking about who's responsible. And you've had this conversation before. The mayor can't.
No. The question is, wait a minute. The question is, who's responsible to us, the citizens, because of this environment? Not who's responsible.
Well, let me say this. Based on Councilman Pruitt's conversation yesterday,
mm-hmm.
I got to say right now, a lot of things going on is at the feet of Mayor Reed, and let me explain why. When the city council approached the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, and there was a plan to where we could take the 70 guys and women that are waiting in line to become sheriff deputies in Montgomery County. And Mayor Reed and the other powers that be in the police department in that hierarchy said no. Councilman Pruitt said, if we had done this, we'd have had another 50 law enforcement officers. Now, he said, again, yesterday, every single police officer in Montgomery was on duty this weekend. You don't think another 50 police officers would have made a difference? You would have increased your police presence by 20%.
Oh, absolutely. We need more police officers. You're right.
So why in hell did Mayor Reed said no? We don't want to take advantage of this. He turned away 50 to 70 police officers that the sheriff's department was willing to do.
Really, I haven't.
The money's in the budget.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't.
But he said no.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does that make any sense when we are hurting? We have in the budget 400 police officers, and Councilman Pruitt says we have approximately 250 on the force. If he had done this, we'd had anywhere from 300 to 320 law enforcement officers working this weekend.
Well,
So yes,
I
Mayor
can't.
Reed bears a lot of responsibility for being short-staffed because he was handed 50 to 70 police officers on a
Well,
silver platter.
let me tell you the bigger problem there. And I hear what you're saying. And if you're correct, then I think there ought to be questions asked about that. But let me tell you the biggest problem. It's not that. The biggest problem that we need that many police officers on the street.
Well,
That's
that is
therein,
unfortunate.
therein
Well,
lies the problem.
again, when I ran for Montgomery County 12 years ago, we had 450 police officers on the police force. I saw the budgets.
Yeah.
I saw the numbers of people, the police officers, number in sanitation, number in the fire department. It was all listed in the budget, the actual number of employees.
Yeah.
So in 12 years, we go from 454 police officers
Well, but
down
what
to
is
approximately
I hear you
250.
because the politics of politics got involved with our law enforcement all over this country, especially after the
And only
George
an
Floyd
idiot would
thing.
go into law enforcement unless they had a true burning desire. Like
Mm.
you're going to be airborne. You have a true desire to be an airborne.
Yeah.
You don't wake up one morning and say, I want to be an airborne. No, you have that calling. And the same for police officers, same for
Yeah.
firefighters, same for anybody like that.
Yeah. All right.
But,
Hey.
Mayor, why did you turn away 50 to 70 police officers
Okay.
over the past year and a half?
Well, I mean, he'll answer those questions, I guess.
I doubt it.
If it's true.
He's a politician. He'll hem-ha, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
And he'll give you nothing but platitudes.
love those
But
platitudes.
Councilman Pruitt said yesterday it was there. And Mayor Reed and his little council turned it down.
Okay.
Now, either the mayor's lying or Councilman Pruitt's lying. And I don't think Councilman Pruitt was lying about that.
All right. Let me grab this other call right quick. Good morning.
If I was you, I'd get a gift certificate for the steak. I'd hate to sit there and eat with buds, and listen to that all day. But 2 years ago, a year ago, January, they did away with concealed permits because only honest people were getting permits. The little thugs aren't getting them. The problem with Montgomery is that they don't, under social justice, we don't correct anybody anymore. They speed up and down the streets like they're going out of style. They shoplift. They bust out windows in the neighborhoods, but nothing happens.
Well,
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm hoping something happens. I mean, if they catch
Well, no, they don't go out and try to do anything. They busted them out at Hampstead last week. They didn't. And the lying little mayor said, "Oh, all that stuff's gone down." But I had a friend talk about. Do you never hear about Wind Lakes? Do you? They
No, you
busting
don't.
out windows.
No, you
Huh?
don't. No, you do. You
But
do not.
I had a friend who said that he saw the sheriffs and stuff out there parked at Wind Lake. And I'm thinking, well, why are they doing Wind Lake? Then I found out, you know why they got sheriffs out at Wind Lakes?
Why is that?
Because the homeowners association pays for them. That proves that if you put police out there to watch stuff, the little thugs won't come out and do things. But this all falls back on social justice crap, where we don't put the little thugs in jail. We don't enforce any laws. You can speed around this city. You can do anything you want. You can shoplift, anything without any kind of consequence. And the little thugs know it. But,
okay.
I think it's stupidity. I asked my city guy last week, I said, what's the over-under for the shootings at the Ferris wheel? Oh, we ain't gonna have any because they're gonna have 2/3 of the police out there. The new law ought to be if there's more than 10 blacks in an area, you gotta dismiss them. Because if more than 10 gets together, somebody's gonna get shot.
Well, listen,
somebody's gonna get their foot stepped on. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. I guess we might as well just close down the schools. Actually, I can't stand when he says things like that, but I must admit, unfortunately, there does seem to be some rationale behind his thinking. Again, the culture that our kids have sort of gravitated toward. And again, I ask the same question: why doesn't Prattville Why doesn't Millbrook? Why doesn't Wetumpka? Why do they not have the same issues? And I don't want to hear about, well, they got smaller people. Well, they can still have the same issue, just proportionately less. So why is it that most cities, and I just gotta say it, that are ran, most of the cities that are ran by Democrats in this country that are bad are ran by Democrats. Now, I'm not holding the Democratic Party, but all these guys think that they got some, the way they think, and this social justice crap. Although I don't want to the police to all of a sudden going down the street now and open up a can of whoop ass on people because they think they did something. We don't want to go that place either. Okay, but we do need somebody. Let me call the sheriff, make sure that I'm absolutely right about this. Okay, I know I am, but I just want to see. I know that I'm right about it, so we're just gonna, because I know that you don't have to have it.
Telephone number 334-850.
Well, what's that all about? Okay, so he must be on the phone, so I'll talk at him a little later on. Let me see here now. Okay, because I need to ask something about that. Because in the state of Alabama, you no longer need a you know a
Telephone number 3.
Okay, well he's probably not available. Anyway, so you no longer need a concealed weapons permit in the state of Alabama, and that's why Sheriff Cunningham and most of the sheriffs in Alabama were totally against this thing. We already had enough problems as it were. Um, so now people can walk around this thing, and we need to. I don't know if open carry. Uh, well, hey, listen. I sound like you agree. Well, listen. There are issues. There are issues with our young culture. I think the young people say why ends. Okay, we do got issues, and that's part of the problem that we as a group of people, we as a group of people won't admit we have problems with our young black males. We got a problem. I mean, we got it. So to deny it, it's like walking down the street from a graveyard, act like they're not dead people over there. So we do have a problem. Okay, not only in Montgomery, all over this country. Now the question is, why? Did the Black Lives Matter movement, did that change the way we do things? I mean, we've always had. Well, I mean, America's always had gangs. Okay, whether they're Italianos or the Haitians back in the day, all kinds of. We've always had gang issues. Okay, so but we got a problem in America right now, and that problem looks like me. Okay, they seem like me, our young black male popular, and we all know why. We all know why. Okay, well, it's not funny, but we listen. Well, either laugh or cry. Which one we want to do? We're gonna laugh or cry. I mean, we all know that this is a problem, and we all know why. And that's the thing we will not have a conversation about why these Negro men, a lot of them will not be involved in their children's lives. And why women will sit down there and have baby after baby after baby with people who are useless. Oh yeah, and don't forget this one. Oh yeah, that right there. That's worse than drugs. That has been a scourge in the hood that's worse than crack cocaine. Okay? So and until we deal with this, okay? Until we deal with this, help solve the problem. You know what? Now you make a good point there. I did help solve the problem. I got two boys that both grown now who've never ever been associated with that kind of behavior because I would have knocked them both out. Now they're too big for me to knock out. so I can't do it. And if you do the right thing, so our society ought to hold men more responsible for their kids. Until you get 18 years old, 19 in some things, you should be held absolutely 100% responsible for the actions of your children, unless you can prove that you have done your due diligence to make sure that they follow a strict code of conduct. Okay, and if we can prove that you didn't, hell, when the last time you seen them? Okay, we don't know, but it's an issue with our people. Okay, and some reason, and when I hear women say, "I don't need no man," well, somebody needs one because it took one to get them. So, and we won't have that conversation. We always make excuses up for it. We always, okay. Somebody said, "Ain't no white cops in Montgomery, so BLM isn't interested." Okay. So you believe me and my four know more? That's an interesting question, because if each man takes care of his own kids, gets involved in their own life, and you do realize you got a boy, you do realize to take care of your own kids is tough. To guide them, especially when you didn't have no guidance yourself, like I didn't. To guide them, if you get that done successfully, then you are doing your part in our society to make sure that we're not contributing to a bad situation. Okay, it's right there. Oh, there he is, right.
Big bicycle thing.
Hey, Sheriff.
Yeah. Hey.
You're on my podcast, so don't say nothing you shouldn't say. I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Kevin. So
I know who you is.
Oh, okay. Listen,
I know you.
Okay, I know you do. I just had a conversation with a young man. Said, and man, we no longer in the state of Alabama has to get a concealed weapons permit, right?
That's correct.
So you can walk around here at 5'6", carry a gun, think you 6'5".
You're absolutely right.
Okay, that's right. And do you think that has contributed to any part of this issue we having with guns and people and stuff like that?
Do I think?
Yeah.
I stopped thinking a long time ago. I know.
Okay. Okay.
I knew that back when they passed the bill. You remember, what did I tell y'all back when the bill was on the floor? Our streets will be the wild, wild west. I said that a long time ago. And what are we dealing with right now? You watch Gunsmoke, you watch Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
What they, you know how everybody got guns and they settle their beef out in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we doing now.
Wow. Somebody said, and I don't know if this is true or not, I'm not blaming anybody, but did your department offer to Lynn Montgomery some sheriff deputies over the weekend, and we turned it down?
No, we got we've been stressed in this past weekend because a lot of my people working off duty at different events and venues, and plus we had the fair in town.
Right.
And we had tons out there at the fair, but we did have off-duty deputies working downtown at some of the hotels and stuff like that, some of the state buildings and stuff. So, yeah, we had a presence downtown. We had a presence, this whole weekend, since we had so much going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because somebody said that, and that's why you got to that's why you have to get the information from the horse's mouth, because somebody called up here and said that you offered us 70 sheriff deputies and we turned them down. So yeah.
No.
Okay, and there was enough work this weekend to go around for everybody.
Yeah, they ain't got to offer nothing. I mean, we had enough going on that people, we had tons of work. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we just want one more thing. Why is it that, and again, I know you don't have the exact answer, but why does it seem that you have a list of people who want to be sheriffs, deputies, but we can't seem to get the same interest in police and city policing? Why do you think that is?
No, I can't answer that. That's kind of hard for me to
Yeah, yeah.
to wrap my arms
used to be,
around.
but you were a city police guy, so I mean,
Yeah, I came from there,
right.
and I ain't forgot where I came from, and I still enjoy my job. I enjoy doing what we do, and I enjoy my guys and girls that love coming here to work.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make it a good working atmosphere. I try to make it a place that you can call away from home. We consider ourselves as being a family. And, don't get me wrong. And that's what I always tell people. I try not to capitalize off of that because, everybody can have a bad day and you're going to always have bad apples. And then people want to put that stigma on your whole agency. And you can't put cast a bad cloud on the whole agency because of the actions of one or two. We got to deal with those problems and we got to move on through. And I just don't want people to paint a bad situation with one big brush instead of giving everybody an opportunity to be able to paint their own room. And that's what I'm saying now. I don't try to capitalize off of bad times. I try to see what we can do to be able to lift everybody through because you're going to have a bad day. My agency may be up right now, and all it takes is one bad apple to bring it back down, and then people start looking at you saying, "Oh, this is crazy," and all this, So, I always try to play all this stuff is day by day, and you just continue to do the good things that you're supposed to do, and be there to support them and be able to let them know that they're not out here by themselves, and that's what people. This is a job that's crazy in law enforcement. I mean, you see what we deal with on a daily basis, and you see every time something bad goes wrong, it's our fault. Every time something good is going on, it's not our fault. It's this person's fault. And I try not to play into that. I try to be the sheriff every day, and realize that bad things will happen.
Okay. One more thing. I'm gonna let you because I know I caught you off guard here. My question is not what happened, but my question is who's responsible to the citizens of the county and of the city? Who's responsible? Or are you responsible if things go bad out in the county? Crime is up, wages is down, whatever. Are you responsible to us as citizens, as a citizen?
Yeah, that's who I answer to. And I try my best to make sure that what we're doing right. And when there are problems, I try to find a solution and try to adhere to that solution. Are you going to make everybody happy? No. Are you going to make some people mad? Yeah. But, at the same time, I'm all about making sure that people can go home, go to bed and wake up and feel safe. And that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a pretty good job there, Sheriff Cunningham, and we appreciate you. So, I was looking at the county yesterday, the county personnel thing, and I think I'm going to put an application in for a sheriff's job pretty soon.
Yeah, come on.
Is there an age limit?
We ain't got an age limit. As long as you can run that mile and a half and do all that stuff, you'll be all right.
Okay, well, y'all have a belt with my name on it. I'm coming.
I got you.
All right. Sheriff Cunningham, folks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your call.
Thanks.
Yeah, they are hiring at the sheriff department. They are hiring. Okay, I'm just saying they are hiring. They got to hire a whole lot of people at the sheriff department. The numbers here are 521-2963 is the number. If you got something on your mind you want to talk about. Let's see. Marcel says many who supported this law should have listened to Sheriff Cunningham warning. Yeah, and I agreed with him. But this would happen, and we know that. So while the governor is talking smack right now, she is partly responsible for some of this mess too going on our state. Good morning, TB.
Hey, I got a question, Kevin. Really, two questions. I'll hang up and let you speak about it. Mm-hmm. Don't y'all probably think that we don't outgrow the municipal government and we need to go to a metro government? That's a way that the sheriff and the county could be in one department and they could about patrol, wherever.
Would that, yeah, okay, but would that be would that be just for policing purposes, or would that be budgetary? Would that be light utilities and things like? Are we talking about everything being mixed in
I'm
one bag?
I'm talking about as like public safety. Like when you have metro, don't they have like metro police precincts in different areas that the police already be there or the sheriffs already be there? And you manage the crime more because it's a bigger city now, and things don't change different now. That by we was municipal, we was often about a small government, but now we're a bigger government now. So maybe we need to change, the way we work the government.
I kind of like the separation of powers, though. But I hear you. It may be economically more feasible to call everything the city of Montgomery, and that listen. I let those people with higher pay grade in mind figure that one out. But what you're saying does make a little sense, because then we combine the policing presence of the sheriff as well as
Yes.
the city.
And then we won't have to worry about the because the sheriff will already have that authority to operate that area within the metro area.
Mhm.
So, and then my second question is, you was like, why is the black youth? It's the rock. It was, if you all listen to some of this rock music, you will see they go about saying how they want to kill each other and
Yeah,
and
they
and
do. Yeah, they
and
do. Yeah.
and just pull out things, and then the governor have much as reason, and then nobody's not pointing the finger at her because everybody have guns. Back in the days when we was growing up, and we were scared to tote guns because we had to have a permit. Now, when you get in an argument back in the days, you go. Some folks you go home and try to get the guns, but by the time you go back, everybody been on dispersion. But you already got the guns on you, and then our youth, they don't think before they do it. They pull the trigger, then think about what they did was wrong. So if they already got the guns on them, they react without
Right,
instinct.
right. And if you can walk around here with a gun, when nobody has to know you got it concealed, and that all that does is heighten. That gives you a false sense of superiority. It just does. But anyway, the fair, the fair has always been safe. Sheriff Cunningham is always out there at the fair. I mean, it's a safe place to be most of the time. So, as a matter of fact, I haven't really heard that too many things ever happened at the fair since I have been here. So, somebody says that out of wedlock and single parent households. Okay. What do you say? Be careful. The fair is saying be careful. With metro government, you do away with mayor and city council. Well, again, it's above my pay grade, but are we doing really good with the mayor and city council thing? I mean, to me, it's about money. From what I understand, we used to have a commission form of government in Montgomery, and weren't we pretty much a metro government back in the old days? I mean, I don't know, but I didn't live here then. I'm trying to figure it out now. Okay. Out of wedlock and single parent households with parental absence, ignoring the active role many non resident fathers play in the structural reasons for families not living together. Well, listen, I've had my problem with that. But one thing I don't think I've ever made a really good husband, but I've always tried, and I tried. I think I did a pretty decent job of being 100% involved with my boy's life, just to make sure that Mama know that if Daddy had to smack him a couple times here or there, he could do it. But not having a father. There have been many people. Let's take military, for instance. You could be overseas for 2 or 3 years, not be at home. You pick up that phone one day because that child know that when you get home, it's going to be hell to pay. So military men have always not been home for stretches at a time. but you have to be involved. They have to know that what they do matters to you. Okay, they need to know that there are consequences to pay. Maybe not at the moment because I ain't there, but when I get off that bird, I'm coming straight to the house and knock you out. So men need to be involved with their boys. Mothers need to be involved with their daughters. Okay, um, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Let me see here. What else? What else? Somebody's got to say. Again, you can call us at 521-2963. So the share said exactly what I said. What I've been asking the question. The mayor, the city council, is responsible to us for the environment that we live in, that we have going on right now. They're not responsible for the crime, but they damn well are responsible for doing something immediately about it. No more platitudes. No more platitudes. And it all starts at home. If you don't get it at home, you used to get discipline at school. Now you don't get it at home. You don't get it at school. So the first place you get introduced to discipline in this society today is in jail. Too late then, though. Okay, too late then. Somebody says that the streets of Montgomery have been the Wild Wild West since 2019, long before the new law passed in 2023. And maybe so. So since we already had problems, why in the world do you want to heap more problems on top of those problems? Why would we want to? Why we want to exacerbate the issue by letting little Johnny and Leroy and Bubba walk around with a gun in their pocket and nobody knows that it's there? So I'm just saying, since we already had it, why do we want to take a small problem and make it a big problem? Which is what we got right now in this state. Okay, I'm just saying, So you don't need a permit. Look here, brother. You make sure that you make sure we're going to get that steak then. Okay. I mean, never ever doubt when I say something that I'm sure about, because there's not too many things I'm sure about. So, but when I am sure about it, I'm sure about it. Okay. So I'm just saying. So never bet me if I say I'm sure. That means I've done research. I know what I'm talking about. But if I'm him and haul you, then you might win something. Okay. Me and my four, no more. And again, that's a that right there. That right there. It's almost as if what you're asking me: do I not care about other people? Sure, I do, but I care about mine first. And if every man cared about theirs first, then we wouldn't have to worry about going so many funerals around here, so many young people dying around here, because that man is in that child's life. Okay, so it's not me and no more. But my first responsibility is to your own kids, not anybody else's. And this junk I hear about, well, we used to do what Big Mama say, and you could be whooped by somebody else down the street. Well, listen, I wish somebody would had hit my child. But now I think you have a right. My child has to be respectful to you. Because if you told me Z or Emmanuel wasn't respectful to you, then they had hell to pay. But I'm the only one gonna be doing the hitting. Okay, I'm the only one gonna be doing that. So I don't know where y'all came with this thing about everybody can whoop your kids. I don't know who's now in public school. I believe in paddling. I believe the teacher ought to be able to take that paddle and put the wood on that bootay. Okay, and then. Now, I don't believe in getting a whooping at school and then coming home beating the hell out of your kids, too. I think that's crazy. I think that's abuse. But somebody needs to put the wood on them. That's all I'm saying. The absent Black father is a damaging myth that incorrectly portrays African American fathers as uninvolved in their children's lives. Research from the CDC has shown that Black fathers are often what? Often what? Okay, I'm gonna call Bravo Sierra on this, brother. I'm gonna call Bravo Sierra on this. That's propaganda. That is the problem. That's propaganda. You go to matter of fact, they said in the 1960s, 80% of the young men knew who their father was, and 20% didn't. Now we're exactly the opposite. 80% have nothing to do with their father, and only 20% of the Black males have a relationship with their dad. Now I don't know if that's absolutely totally true or not, but I know it's pretty much on target here. So and because we want to ignore the fact or what the problem is, we will never fix this problem. We used to shame men back in the day for not taking care of their kids. We used to shame them. Okay, we used to shame them and all kinds of things because that's just not what you do. You take care of your kids. You may not be able to give them everything you want to give them, but the most important thing you give your kids is your love. I mean, it just is. Now, and the court system hadn't helped because the court system has made a black man think all he's worth is a check. The black woman, she halfway responsible for this too. The ones in this situation. I mean, if a brother's making minimum wage when you meet him, what makes you think he's gonna get a raise? Okay, and you sit there and make baby after baby after baby with him, and then tell him, I don't need no man. Well, you needed a man at least once. So I'm just saying, so we got a problem. And until we as black males, okay, and the problem is, I'm going to play this in a couple of days. It's about why black men walk away. Okay, and it's a good it is a good sermon, mini sermon. Now, so we're gonna play that on Monday because we do walk away. Okay, you do. We walk away. I'm a victim of that crap. Okay, I saw my father one time in my whole life, one time. So it's not and it didn't just this. And I was born in 1957, so this ain't something that just started in the 90s. Okay, and I hear people saying, "Well, the reason we do that because back in the day, the white man made the black man leave the house." No white man has ever made a black man leave his family. If you left your family so y'all can get a bigger check, then that was on you. You could always get a second, third, fourth job, whatever you got to do. Make a hustle. So this junk about the man had to leave because the woman was getting money. Well, then that means he sold his soul. They both sold their soul for a check. Okay, and that check will never replace the love of a dad. It never will. And I'm gonna tell you something. There are very few things that I would kill you over. I'm not saying I would kill anybody, but I would have hurt you over my boys. Oh yeah, you listen. You can mess with me. You can steal my car. I don't care. I don't whatever. But you mess with my kids, and somebody was gonna have hell to bear. So once a father displays that kind of love for his child knows it. It's called a relationship. And that's what a dad is. Everybody, I had an argument with a woman the other night. Every child has a father. Every last one of them has a father. But what we don't have are dads. And that's the father, that's the father-son, father-daughter relationship. Everybody's got a dad, though. If you're born, you got a daddy. Somebody pops something in the oven, and which makes you the dad. Okay, so it is not a myth. It is a truism. Okay, now if you want, if you and me, we can get with the sheriff, and we can go downtown and talk to some of the prisoners down there and tell how many of you guys have a relationship with your dad. I guarantee you, the preponderance of most of them don't, especially the young ones. Okay, but they don't. We don't. I mean, it is what it is. We may like the platitudes. Well, it ain't really their fault. Well, who the hell's fault is it? And I hear what you're saying. A thug father in the house is worse than no father in the house. I don't agree with that. I don't think if you love your children, you're gonna be a thug in the house. I don't believe it. If you love your kids, and even if you don't love your kids, if nothing else, we at least know where you are so we can get some money out you. Okay. But again, here's the question. What has made men leave their homes, leave their children, not forget their homes? What has made men leave their children to fend for themselves? It can't be a welfare check. Really, first of all, it ain't that much money. So it can't be a check. There's something, like Ronald Reagan said, that's going on in time and space that we have lost sight of. Okay. And I think that's love. I think that's loving your children. Because if you love your children, there is nothing that you will not do. If you had one piece of bread and 4 kids, you would give them a corner, a corner, and you may take a little piece out the middle, but you're gonna make sure they eat if you love them. And the only way that love could be around is that you have to spend time with them. You just got to spend time with them. I have never known the love of a father, and I ain't whining. And me, I mean, there are a lot of folks right now who've never had the hug of a dad, a love of a father. They just never had it. Okay, and I miss that. I mean, I'm 68 years old now, and it still bothers me that it never happened. You know, I don't know what it's like to. Hey, Dad, I don't know what that's like. You know, but it was what it was. Um, and I think, and I will say this much to you, I do believe that psychologically it damages young males. Okay, it damages. You know, even cows and pigs and dogs and ants and roaches, they all, at least for the moment, realize that that's their offspring. And you will find them when that child is born, when that offspring comes here, the cow, the turkey, the pig, whatever, that you'll find them nurturing that part of them. Okay. Human beings are the only people, it seems that, and we're supposed to be the smartest people that there are. And we were supposed to be the smartest people that there are. And we don't seem to do it very much. And which brings us to the situation that we are now. Okay. Brings us to the situation that we find ourselves in now. Okay. Okay. But anyway, so much for that. Anyway, so there he is. Good morning.
Hey,
Yes.
I know you call it bullshit, but
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Bravo Sierra.
you don't offer anything else. I mean,
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's 3 different pieces because you can only post so many characters. So it says the absent black father is a damaging myth that incorrectly portrays African American fathers as uninvolved in their children's lives. Research from the CDC has shown that black fathers are often more involved than fathers of other racial groups, including participating in daily child care and helping with homework. The myth stems from a conflation of high rates of black births out of wedlock and single-parent households with paternal absence, ignoring the active role many non-resident fathers play and the structural reasons for families not living together. Now, I know you're going to call it bullshit because that's all you're going to do. So when information is presented to you, you just call it bullshit when you don't agree with it.
Well, no, listen, I really wish that was true.
No, you just call it bullshit because you don't agree with it.
No.
And you can show me when you said it was 80 to 20% so many years ago, and now it's 20 to 80% now. What's the resources that you have to show that?
CDC.
You just talking.
No, CDC.
Present it.
Centers for Disease Control.
Present it.
Well, I'll get it.
Present it just like I did. Because it doesn't matter, Kevin, with you, it doesn't matter. When people present things to you, you just say, oh, that's bullshit.
You just gave me.
Because you don't agree with it. Because you don't agree with it.
Why wouldn't I want to agree with that? Seriously.
Because you don't agree with it. Because your mind is already made up.
Because my life experience
just because the father isn't in the home doesn't mean he's not involved.
I agree with that. I've been there. I've been there, done that.
This is what this is saying, and you called it. You just called it bullshit.
You never hear me.
You just called it bullshit.
Look, you never hear me say. If you listen close to what I say they need to be involved with their kids. I don't say nothing about
That's
having to live at home. And we got
this is what it says. That's exactly what it says.
And you don't have to be in the same house.
Hear it.
You don't have to be in the same
And
house.
that's exactly what I said, Kevin.
Exactly. And I don't disagree with that.
You just said you called it bullshit.
There are too many, because it was crap the way you put out. But we got
this
two.
No, it wasn't.
The reason
Kevin, I know people. Put it like this: your father was never in your life, right?
No.
You ain't went out and killed nobody.
And the only reason
hold on. You ain't never seen.
Yeah, I have. The only reason why.
You never seen. Well, the one time.
No.
The one time.
No, the one time.
And hold on. You didn't turn out as no thug.
The only reason I didn't, and
so you are the example, Kevin. You are the that shows that that ain't always.
I'm gonna show you why.
That's not always true.
Okay, just give me a second. I didn't say it was always true, but the only reason I was thinking about it the other day, the only reason why I didn't end up dead or in jail, I was going down the street one day and I saw the Army recruiting office because I was messing around with a guy who was selling drugs. I was headed the wrong way real quick, but I liked that uniform that those guys had on.
But you made a choice, Kevin. You made a choice. I could have gone that way too, Kevin. I got a brother that did 16 years in the pen. Mm-hmm. I rolled around with him and picked up money. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I said, hey, this ain't for me. Father was in the home, Kevin.
Okay, well, you lucky.
Father was in the home, Kevin. Mm-hmm. People make choices. I know people that father was in the home. The two boys didn't graduate high school. The two daughters graduated high school. The one son went to the streets. Mm-hmm. The parents wouldn't even take none of that money. They said, we don't want this money. Right?
Right.
So you got parents that in that same situation that would have taken that money. And that's what's bigger than just these kids, Kevin. And you always just want to blame me. I'm telling you, this is factual.
Every child just about that's in trouble does not have a relationship with his dad.
You don't know that.
Okay, let's meet me at jail. Meet me at the jail.
I know personal examples when that's a lie.
Me too.
But the kids made choices. But the kids make their own choices, and then the dad said, "No, you're gonna have to get out of here. No, you're gonna have to get out of this house. You're gonna have to get out of this house if that's what you think you're gonna do." The parents was there, Kevin. Yeah. The children made their own choices. Sure.
And kids will always make dumb decisions.
They don't always make dumb decisions.
Sure we do.
I could have did the same thing my brother was doing, Kevin. I could have done it.
Yeah, me too.
But I chose not to.
There's a difference today. The environment by which our young men are growing up today is a hell of a lot different now than it was back in the 60s and the 70s when I was coming up. And I'm just telling you, there's more social pressure.
I've been in the 60s and the 70s, and I'm telling you, I know, for example, how things changed in the community when crack hit the communities. I know how it changed.
I don't know.
And when I call you, and when I tell you, trucks came to little old country ass Millbrook, Alabama, Sandtown, and they sold guns off of them trucks, Kevin. They sold them.
Who sold the gun?
They had dynamite.
But why did the people buy them? Why did people buy them?
You're right. Why would you buy it? But why would you bring it?
Well, because listen.
Why would you bring it? Why would you?
Okay, why do people come from overseas?
Start there. Why don't go to overseas? Go to why would you bring stuff like that to a little old po town like that? Why ain't that going on? But they selling crack. Why would you bring it?
Because you can always find somebody who wants to do the wrong thing. You can always find somebody who wants to do the wrong thing.
But you only concentrate on the black youth.
And why is that?
Why would you bring?
Why is that?
That kind of stuff. No, why would you bring that kind of stuff?
Because they're always looking for somebody who wants to do something wrong.
Why would you bring it?
Well, why would you
contribute?
Why would you
contribute to that? Why would you contribute to that?
Why would you buy it? Why would you buy it?
Why would you contribute to it?
Well, I don't do it, but why would you buy it?
Both of them. It ain't just, you can't just say, why would you buy it? You can't just stop there. Why would you bring it?
I hear you, but crooks will be crooks. That's what crooks do.
Why would you bring it? See, you never talk about the people that bring it. You never talk about the people that bring it, because the people that bring it ain't the young black youth.
Wait a
and
minute.
you
You
know
don't
it.
think? Wait a minute. You don't think
You
that I
know
was
that.
able- wait a minute. You don't believe that I had the same
You
opportunity
know
as
that.
everybody else to do wrong things? They
But
brought it.
you made a choice.
They brought it into my neighborhood too.
You made a choice. Some people went
And
that way,
everybody-
some people didn't.
And if a
But you
dad-
act like it's every black youth. You need
I
to stop.
did not say that. Now come on. Now,
That's all you say. Our youth. You don't say some of our youth. You say our
It
youth.
is our
And you
youth
imply
right
it was
now.
all of us.
Okay, now be quiet for a second. Wait, be quiet for a second.
Okay.
It is our youth right now in the major urban cities in this country that are dying, killing each other. White people around this country not necessarily doing this in the mode in which we are. It is what it is. 12,000.
I'm not saying that there is not a problem. I never said that. But to act like it's everybody, man,
I
stop.
didn't say it was everybody. Come on, man.
But you said our youth. When you say our black kids, you ain't separating nobody.
Well, no statement is inclusive.
You ain't
everybody.
separating nobody. What percentage? What percentage would you say?
Well, too many.
What percentage?
Too many.
I don't know, 1% is too many, but what percentage would you say? You know it's not everybody, and you know it's a low percentage.
That's getting.
And you know it's a low percentage. It's a low percentage of people out here acting up,
you what.
and then you want to blame everybody for it.
Let me.
And you know you wrong. You wrong as hell.
Let me just say this.
You wrong as hell.
67% of all
You
federal
wrong as hell.
prisoners of all federal prisoners are black. 67%.
You know what's the highest exonerated group of people in America?
Who?
Black folk. So you know what that means? If you're the highest exonerated,
that means
then
you were
what does
wrongly.
it mean?
That means you were wrongly.
Then what does it mean? Okay, then.
Well, then.
So you only talk about one part of it. No, you only talk about one part of it. So if you are the most exonerated group of people in America, that means you are the most over-policed people in America. You're the most arrested people in America,
right?
For no reason.
And if you know that, then damn it,
If you exonerated, no, you don't. Don't matter about if you know that. If somebody arrests you, they arrest you.
What? But you put yourself in that position.
And if you get exonerated, Kevin, it means you did not do the crime. Damn it.
Okay. Well, again,
it ain't rocket science. No, you just hard. You just hell bent. You hell bent on trying to just bash black folk. If you can say,
I really hate that.
Don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it.
Do we not have research? Do we not have
research?
Research
who's the most exonerated people?
Hey,
you say, well, that means you shouldn't do this. No, if you are exonerated, Kevin, that means you didn't do anything.
Research happened this weekend.
It means no. It's research. You did. If you are the most exonerated, if you are the most exonerated,
again, we got
the most exonerated people. That means that you are being policed. That means that you are being falsely accused.
Okay, I hear you. All right. Anyway, so I can't get a word in. Again, it happened this weekend. Okay, and again, I'm not saying there are a lot of, and I honor like what Anthony Brock and those guys are doing over there with Valiant Cross, taking some of those same children who possibly could get in trouble and making scholars out of them. We hold some responsibility to the way our children act. This weekend was another spotlight of what goes wrong when you have a bunch of young men with no guidance. Okay, they're not the only people. I agree with you, but I'm a black person. But I don't never say everybody. Hell, if that was everybody, my boys would be included too. And I was almost included, to tell you the truth. When I was going down the street one day, and I like that. I like that. What is that? What is that? I like that uniform when I went across that army thing one time, and that's the only thing. That's probably the only thing that saved me. Okay, besides the good Lord having His hand on me, because that's where I was headed. I walked. I was hanging out with a drug dealer, at 16 years old. I didn't have no dad. My mama couldn't handle me no more. And I just, hey, I didn't have a dad. I had a father, but I didn't have a dad. And I was headed wrong way. And thank God for the United States Army, because if it were not for that, but by the grace of God, I would have probably been dead a long time ago. So it is about the decisions that we make, and having fathers in your life. Mamas do the best they can, and some of them are better fathers than the men probably will ever be. But a woman is still not a man. And men, we got a little testosterone, a little extra testosterone. Okay. Let me see here now. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mayor Atkins.
Yes.
You still the mayor of the airways,
podcast
ways, right?
Yeah, podcast, yeah.
Hey, Kevin, I just wanted to highlight something this morning that happened on your show that I don't want you to miss.
Okay.
You had an interesting conversation with the high sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that had been offered was to your audience. I don't know who said it and how it came about, that the city of Montgomery was offered 50 sheriffs for this weekend, and they rejected them.
Yeah.
Did I get that correct?
Yeah. That's why.
Where did that information come from? Where did that information come from?
I don't know who said it, but well, I do know who said it. I'll call you later and tell you who said it.
Okay, you know who said it.
Yeah, I know who said it. Yeah.
But that was what's interesting is the sheriff said that was not correct information.
That's right.
And what I wanted to share, Kevin, is that sometimes people are in such a hurry to share information that's detrimental to this administration. And if you don't have someone that's credible to refute that information just out there.
Yeah.
That was one point. And then a second point, Kevin, one of your regular callers emphatically challenged you on a law that you knew very much that was not correct.
That's
and
true.
You even want a steak dinner off of it, correct?
If I get the dinner. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, Kevin, is sometimes we are so in a hurry to purport information as though we know it's factual and it's detrimental to our community and to our society. And people, quote unquote, are not fact checked. And I thank you this morning because you went the extra effort to get the information correct. And a lot of times we don't get that. So we hear all the negative stuff about this city and about this administration without ever getting the facts. So I want to commend you this morning, Mayor Elkins,
yes,
for getting the correct information out there. Yeah. That the city was not offered 50 additional sheriffs for this weekend. No. That's according to Sheriff Cunningham.
Yeah. Horses
and you need to, and it is not illegal. You don't need a permit to carry a concealed weapon. That's the law. Is that correct?
That's the law.
So if you have not done anything else this morning, you've gotten two pieces of information that is factual from the credible source this morning. I want to commend you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And again, I think the governor is partly responsible for some of this mess we in. And I realize she's calling the mayor and all that stuff. But you know, you when you give people permission to walk around with a gun in their pocket, unbeknown to anybody else, no accountability, then no wonder the proliferation of gun violence is going on. And as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago when they put this out, he did say, the sheriff did say, and I said it too, it's going to take people who are 5'6" and make them think they 6'5" because they got something in their pocket. Okay, and it's done exactly that. So while she sits on her high horse up there, looking down on Montgomery, on the mayor, and again, I never said the mayor was responsible, but I said he's responsible to us because of the environment. But he got a little help from the governor's office. He got a little help from the governor's office by I mean, it's almost like they wanted this stuff to happen because there was no reason. There was no reason There was no constitutional urgency that you make people that you allow people to walk around with guns in their pocket without anybody knowing. Okay, because you were able to open carry constitutionally. I don't even know if that's constitutional, to tell you the truth. But the Second Amendment says you have a right to bear arms. It didn't say everywhere. Really? It didn't say everywhere. But there was no reason in the world, no constitutional reason in the world why you should allow people to walk around with a gun in their pocket and nobody knows it's there. Not constitutionally. Okay? So I'm just saying, So Governor Ivey, while we appreciate your concern, you are partly responsible for where we are, along with the legislature. Of course, they the one passed the law. All she did was sign it, but she did sign it. Good morning, Duke.
Good morning, Mr. Elkins. What get me, Kevin, is people like Bud and old curmudgeon talking about we've been here open carry. True.
Right.
I seen the stickers on the doors, people. I seen those stickers, but it's a new law they passed added to that problem, saying that it's okay for them to walk up and down the damn street with this weapon in their hands. Okay, that's the part we're talking about, people. The part that the sheriff department and the police department came out and said they didn't want to be in of that. Okay, and these same individuals claim they love the police and blah blah blah. The police almost begged, didn't they, Kevin?
Yeah.
Not to pass that bill.
Not to do
it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so every time I go into a local store, mainly the gas stations, any gas station in town you go to, you see these young bros got a long butt hanging out of their pocket. You've seen that, Mr. Eckert?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So let these individuals, like I said last year, let these individuals go out to Pike Road to that new public out there and post up. How long that will last, Kevin?
You know how long it'll last. You know how long.
As long as it's on the black side of town, like old curmudgeon said, the blacks killing one another, okay. But let somebody why they get shot. Come on now.
I hear you. Yeah. But we are responsible for the things that we do.
I understand that. Yes. But what I'm saying now, these kids already wants to be bad anyway, so why give them guns? Half of them had their guns on them downtown already. So if you allow them to walk around with the guns, hell, they brought the guns to the party, didn't they?
We just need to rescind that law. We need to rescind that law. Let every swinging Johnson around here walk around with a gun in his pocket and nobody knows. So I'm
now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, with that said, Kevin, did they have a barricade up or something like that, like they do for Jubilee back in the day? To checkpoint everybody, make sure they didn't have weapons. Did they have something like that set up?
Now that I do not know. That I do.
They should have if they didn't have that.
But the shame of that
would have helped a lot.
Right, but the shame of that is that we need to put one up. That's the shame of it.
Yes, we should have had one up because I remember in the Jubilee days, you used to have to come through and get checked out, make sure you didn't have a weapon on you, like to do the fact,
Yeah.
So that's some question that needs answers to.
Yeah.
In my opinion. All right, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Again, now let me go on to something else that. Hello.
Hey, the guy that called about the exoneration, was that Joe Reed Jr.?
No, that wasn't Joe Reed. No, that wasn't him.
He said that came from the CDC.
Yeah.
It came from the Equal Justice Initiative.
Yeah.
Which I doubt very seriously. You didn't say any facts about who got or whatever. I mean, when you're the most people in the prisons.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me grab the call because you already talked. So let me grab this call. But you call back if this guy doesn't last. Good morning, Boogie Ray.
Hey, Elk Man, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Okay, Elk Man, I want to weigh in on something.
Mm-hmm.
A good leader, are they proactive or do they react?
They're proactive.
Okay. Last week when Governor Kay Ivey was declaring HBCU weekend.
Mm-hmm.
She was aware of all the events that were going on in Montgomery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why at that time, instead of waiting till Monday to send out a leah, why at that time during her proclamation did she not say, and to ensure the safety and security of all citizens, I'm going to direct a leah to be provide enhanced security for these events? She did it Monday. She couldn't have done it last Wednesday or Thursday when she made the proclamation.
Again, though, the problem is,
No, could she have done it?
right, she could have done it, but why would she have to?
But she did it Monday, right?
Right. But that was after the event.
That's after the fact. That's after the fact.
Right.
Okay. So, to ensure the safety, that's the word everybody loves to use. A good leader would have thought ahead and said, okay, just in case. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have, correct?
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then you look at it. Of all people on the council, they say, well, we need to take responsibility. No, I feel Montgomery did what we need to do. Glenn Pruitt had a suggestion, an ordinance or something that if we pull you over and you have a gun, you have to bring your license to prove who you are and proof of ownership of that you bought that gun, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Would that have stopped all these guns on the street?
Probably not.
Oh, it would have, because Kevin, if I get pulled over and I've got a gun, and I've got proof of ownership of my gun. I don't have it on me in the car because I don't care. It's no problem. But what about all those guns that you can't prove where you got it?
Well, the sheriff said, no, and again, right? The sheriff said,
but I know what he said. I'm going straight
he said,
back
even if he stopped somebody, he said, even if they stopped somebody and they got 10 guns back there on the seat, there ain't a whole lot they can do about it, unless
therein lies the problem. We have no proof of knowing. Okay, they love to holler about, well, criminals don't obey the law. I don't have to be a criminal anymore, Kevin. I can just go get as many guns as I want, ride around with as many as I want. What can you do?
Yeah, hey.
You can't do nothing to me.
Nothing, unless those guns can be proven to be stolen. But I think you got to have probable cause to even ask the question.
Exactly. If I'm just speeding down the street doing what, 50 and a 35, is that probable cause searching a car?
No, that's not
because it has to be an underlying crime.
But you put yourself in a position to since you just broke the law, you put yourself in a position to
exactly. Yeah. But okay, like Cunningham said, even if he pulled you over, they would have had to have a reason to pull you over, correct?
Right.
And if he sees if you see all those guns, there's still nothing he could do, right?
That's what he said.
Okay. There again, I'm not disagreeing with you, Kevin. I'm just saying, at some point we got to look at this. This law is not helping. Will it have changed anything? I don't know, but I do think Pruitt's ordinance would have helped.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And again, if we can't stop you from getting the gun, we can put a hell of a tax on the ammunition.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Remember one time I asked you a question about the Constitution? You told me I was stupid. Everybody says guns, guns, guns. Y'all love to ask this question, so I'm going to ask another stupid question. Tell me in the Constitution where it says bullets.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So we need to put a hell of a tax on the ammunition. Yo, bud.
Kevin, I just want to set you and the last caller straight.
Okay.
When I called in this morning, I did not say that the sheriff offered 50 deputies for this weekend. I said specifically and only talked about what Councilman Pruitt said, that the city council had approached the mayor in the past year to 18 months about trying to get the 50 to 75 folks that were on the waiting list to go to the Montgomery Sheriff's Department and have those 50 to 70 while they are on the waiting list go to the Montgomery Police Academy and become Montgomery police officers. And then if they wanted to, they could transfer over to the Montgomery Sheriff's Department. That's the
Oh,
only
okay.
thing
I
I
don't think it.
talked about
Yeah,
this
yeah. I don't
morning.
think it came out. And we may have misunderstood what you were saying because I don't remember it coming out exactly that way. But if that's what
That's
you meant,
exactly what Councilman Pruitt talked about.
right, right. He did talk about the other day. He did say that. Yeah, yeah. That.
He
But I
said
think,
that yesterday,
yeah,
and that's exactly what I was talking about.
Mm,
And the mayor said no.
mm. Okay.
So where's somebody saying I said 50 police sheriff's deputies for this weekend?
Yeah.
No, I did not say that. I only talked about what Councilman Pruitt said on your show yesterday.
Okay.
And he specifically said, can you imagine what a difference 50 police officers would be if we had them while they were waiting to become sheriff's deputies?
That certainly would make a difference. We would hope anyway. Hey, listen, I gotta get my sponsor thing out here, and which is of course One Stop Wireless at 3445 Atlanta Highway, 320-2988 is the number. Now, if you need a phone, if you got a phone sitting in your house, been sitting there forever, one of them cell phones, and you didn't pay the bill, and they cut your phone off, well, they can cut that phone back on. They can help you out, get the phone cut back on, put it on different service for you and everything like that. They can help you out. So what you need to do is call the Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, right there in the gas station. They got a gas station right there on the corner. Well, One Stop Wireless is right there. So go up there and see them. Call them. Here's the number: 320-2988. 320-2988. One Stop Wireless, 3445 Atlanta Highway. So for all your cell phone needs and things like that, and if you're stuck at your Spectrum already, or you're stuck at to Wild or whatever, and you just can't get the internet more because they ain't come back your address, well, hey, they can handle that too. They can sell you, I think it's $35 a month, $40 a month, whatever the case may be, all wireless internet for your house. Okay, $35 a month. I think it's either 35 by the time you get done taxing. So we're gonna say $40 a month, $39 a month. Okay, you get this. Put it in your house. No matter where you live, you can use this thing, and because I think it's done by satellite link or something like that. Anyway, so give them a call. They can explain better to you their programs. 334-320-2988. That is the number. One Stop Wireless, right there on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. They got a little gas station, a Shell gas station right there, and they're right in the same building with those guys. Okay, check them out. Tell me you heard about them. Okay, tell me you heard about them right here on Decisions 2.0. Because why do we call it that? Because everything we do requires us to make one, and even when we don't make one, well, we just made one. Yes, Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed turned down additional state police assistance after a mass shooting on October the 4th, 2025, that killed 2 and wounded 12. He rejected Governor Abby's offer. Well, where'd that come from? Now, we just. Oh, you talking about from? Okay, now that I don't know if that's true or not, but because who offered? I mean, the sheriff was on this morning. So who did he turn down for that? Did the governor say she was going to send people in? I mean, did she say she was going to send people in? I mean, give me some more background on this. He rejected Governor K.I. When did she offer? After it happened? I mean, now this is the first time I'm hearing this. Okay, did the governor? I mean, again, let as long as y'all telling the truth, now we good. But let's just make sure that read your email. Okay, I'll do that later. I'll do that because I can't read everything. What's this? 9 + 666. What in the world? What's that all about? So when that time I see the word 666, it makes me scared. Okay. Should Governor Ivey had brought in the National Guard? Well, that would not have been a terrible thing to do just for added security. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, we had a lot of people in this town this weekend. A lot of people. That wouldn't, and we are short officers. I don't know. That would not have been a very bad thing in my mind to do. Of course, we're all hindsight now. We all got 20/20 vision right now. Okay. I mean, I would like to think that every time we put something together, we don't have to call out the National Guard. because it's us. I'm hoping. Let's not I mean, act like that's happening. I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, Alabama has all kinds of Alabama has all kinds of at the University of Alabama and Auburn. They have thousands of people. 100,000 people almost, and they don't have this problem. So I don't know. There's a culture. There's just something in the culture in today. I don't know what it is, where it came from. Okay, so let me see my email here. Let me see. He said, look at my email here. So that's what we do. Okay. I wish I could rain. Okay. Again, if y'all want to call, the number is 521-2963. If you want to do that, because we don't mind taking calls here. It's the best show in town, and I'm still the mayor of the airways via podcast. Okay, so I'm just saying y'all might want to let everybody know that I'm still up and running, and those are our numbers right there. So let me check my email right here. You talking about email or you mean text? Which one are you talking about there? Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, and the city council meeting today. Let me get to the city council meeting today because I want to tell you what's going on down there before the end of this great show today. I'm going to tell you what's going on in the city council meeting tonight, and you'll be able to. Good morning, Mr. Boyd.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I need to see you, man, after the show. Hopefully the day before 12. Are you available?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. Before 12.
Okay, yeah, I need to see you before 12 if possible. Look, man, y'all, once again, I guess y'all got a great topic. Kevin, those Glock switches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the problem is the gun. I think the problem is the Glock switches. That's what doing most of the damage. I think our murder rate is about the normal trend of anywhere between 45 to 55. Normally that be the average rate on homicide. But once if the Glock switches went now, it's almost doubling the homicide when we start getting up in the number like 60s and 70, man. And I think those Glock switches, they hit the market in 2016. I did a little research on the person who invented those Glock switches. But I think our problem is the Glock switches. It's not the gun. It's the instrument that they put on the gun that is causing multiple people to get killed in the area at one time. And they may not even be the target because they can't control those automatic weapons. And when they pull the trigger, the bullets just go crazy and causing more than one people to lose their lives. So I think they need to concentrate more on those Glock switches due to the fact that's the major problem. It's an instrument that they're placing on those guns. What you say?
Yeah, I guess. Again, I think it's a hard issue, brother. I mean, the gun can't do anything unless somebody picks it up to use it. I would agree with that. But the problem is there's so many of them until everybody picking one up and using it. So
they've been using guns. They've been using guns. I'm saying guns had never been the primary problem. They've been shooting people forever. They are single shot, double shot. But when you can pull the trigger now and kill almost 6 or 7 people per gun because you got the switches, but those people who've been killed are not the primary target. If they were doing the single shot, they may be a little bit more accurate on hitting their target. But due to the fact that they have those Glock switches, guns, I don't think they're gonna get rid of guns.
Well, they're not going away. But I do think we can control some of the people legally that buy them. Because again, when you tell people you can walk around with a gun in your pocket, nobody has to know that you have it. I just got a problem with that. At least if you get a license for it, a permit for it, somebody know you got it.
I'm talking about, I know, but still, the guns, don't see a single shot pistol is the problem.
It's the person that's the problem, though. It's the person.
No, it's the Glock. Well, the person, yes, but those Glock switches, man. It's every time there's an incident that takes place now with all this killing, a machine gun type weapon was used, created, coming from those Glock switches. I mean, that's just my comment. But I do need to see you for 12, man. It's possible, man.
Okay.
Y'all be blessed.
All right.
Okay, brother. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord and Miss Clody. Anyway, let me go before I get, man, time is running short here. City Council meeting tonight. I think it's at the regular meeting. Okay, see, I'm trying to get City Council. Yes, sir. Joe.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop oversimplifying the thing. People kill people. We understand that, but it's the tools, Kevin.
It's the tools.
The oversimplistic argument that people make is that's just denial. Well, people kill people. We know that, but what are the tools that people use to do this?
Well, they use
Because
knives
and
cars. They use knives.
If you're not going to worry, but some things are more efficient. Okay. There's a reason Kevin. You don't, under your logic and some of the people's logic, that people kill people and guns don't kill people. Then fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then how about we have bazookas, grenade launchers, and 50 calibers out? No.
That's
people
military.
kill people. People kill. No, under your logic, people kill people. So it should not be any problem with the mass populace accessing those weapons. Okay. There should not, under your logic and a lot of the folks' logic, that simply people kill people and the instrument of death has nothing to do with it. Okay, guns have nothing to do with it. They just inanimate objects who are just innocently sitting by. Those are killing machines. That's ridiculous. Those are that is intellectually dishonest, Kevin.
Ooh, I like that.
For people to sit here, we all know what people say. We all know what people do.
Good. Okay, I got to get the city council thing here, but next time call earlier. Okay, I'm just saying.
It worked, but I will.
All right. Council meeting tonight is at 5 p.m. Going to be prayer by Julie Beard as the guest. They also got a consent agenda, and consent agenda is the things they do that only thing you can do is vote on them. You can't talk about anything like that. So Robinson and somebody gets $119,880,000. Roy Outdoors LLC gets $11,680. WSFA gets $9,998. MPD Recruitment, I guess that's going to be the money to what do you call that, publicity. The Green Bridge Group gets $40,000. Professional research services. Why we need them? We got all these colleges. I don't know why we're paying people for that, but that's okay. Meltwater News USA, $25,000 for advertisement. Rhonda Watson, $41,000. Foster Grandparent Program Director. Going Vest Incorporated, doing business as TrueCom, $23,700. Youth Bill Montgomery, $1,600. Youth Bill Montgomery, Jamaica Patterson, and they get a stipend. Evidently, these kids are involved in something that gets done. Good for them. Good for them. Youth Bill, they got a bunch of people getting a little extra money. Forget that. Old Business, hearing or proposed ordinance rezoning one lot in the north side of East-South Boulevard, approximately 1,300 feet west of Narrow Lane Road on the 01 office. Zoning, boring. Child Care Center, also known as 1245 East-South Boulevard. Applicant requested a B2 planning. That's boring. Let's get on to some new business here. Review of all-out towing at 3783 Wares Ferry Road, sponsored by Councilor Beard. Ordinance amending Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances to add Article 4, regulating dangerous pedestrian conduct in public right-of-ways, sponsored by Councilor Beard. Okay. Healthcare. Okay, what else we got? Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute contract without council approval. We need to know a little bit about that one. Okay, we need to know a little bit about that one. Number 34, resolution ascending the vacation and portion of Lawrence Street between Randolph Street and Columbus Street. 35, resolution authorizing COM, CON, whatever that means, to join the city of Tuscaloosa in litigation against the Alabama Department of Revenue regarding the Simplified Seller's Use Tax, SSUT, program. Number 36, resolution authorizing the mayor to make application to Delta Regional Authority for a grant for $450,000 for funding of the Fairview Collective. City matching share is $150,000. Number 37, authorizing application for event center by Cornelius Burton and Charlie Burton. Event space at 19 Court Street. Number 38, application for conference center by Billy Summerlin, doing business at Summerlin's Place, West Fleming Road. Resolution reappointing Jeff Jones to the Park and Recreation Board by Councilor Johnson. Number 40, resolution appointing Angela Calvin to the Housing Authority. See, that's the one I wanted to be on right there. I wanted to be on one of those right there because, hey, I want to be on a board that actually does something. A resolution appointing Brittany Lee to the Architect. Okay, I couldn't handle that one. Review Board by Councilor Johnson. Resolution appointing Kayla Dixon to the Planning Commission by Councilor Riley, replacing Reggie Dunn. Resolution concurring in the reappointment of Casey L. Owens Jr. to the Joint Public Charity Hospital Board. 45, appeal proposed demolition at 613 through 619 Watts Avenue by David Herman. And the rest of the stuff is useless stuff. You got straight. Okay, so you got the but that thing about the mayor being able to carry out contract without the city council, I think that's kind of we need to look into that. Okay, so before y'all vote for that one, I want y'all to kind of make sure that you just make sure you're not giving away the you want to make sure you're not giving away the house. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, I gotta go. But remember, it is not the falling down that gives you strength. It's the getting up every time you do. So all I can do is tell you, keep getting up. We'll see you. Have a great day. I'm going to replay this later on. This is really good today. I can listen to myself all day long. Anyway, bye.